Hey Tim, I actually only have it on Alpha IFB. Actually, I have nothing right now on Bravo. But the Alpha IFB held, so it was good. I don't have it currently now. No, I have 2 radios, and one is set to Alpha, one is set to Bravo. There's just nothing coming out on Bravo. I hear you talking now, but I'm hearing you on the Alpha radio. Yeah. Okay. Talk to me, Tim. Okay, there you are. I got you on Bravo now, too. Cool. Thank you. Let me call the desk. Assignment desk from Alpha. Will you tell me over the radio if the acreage increases over 200? Thank you. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, man. Wow. Yeah. Holding at 2. Copy that. Thank you. It's holding at 200 acres right now. Oh, yeah. It's obscured now, though. Is it still there? Oh, yeah, there it is. It's saying 60 feet. That seems like a lot. Yeah, it's saying about 60 feet. I don't know if that's true. That's so much. I copy you, Jack. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is joining us online. Emily on Marino and News Chopper 4 Alpha, along with my pilot, Sarah Garabetti. And we continue to monitor the fire that broke out this afternoon at about 3 o'clock, just south of the Bouquet Reservoir. At the time, it was about 3 to 5 acres burning in heavy fuel. And just 30 minutes later, that had grown to 200 acres with structures threatened. We understand that there are 10 to 12 structures that were immediately threatened, but firefighters were also calling for evacuations for everyone 5 miles south of the Bouquet Reservoir. Now, this area isn't extremely populated. It is the forest, but you do have a major road that runs through here, which is Bouquet Canyon Road, and you do have structures along that road. So I believe that the structures that were in question are going to be along that road. Now, looking at where we have the longest flame lengths here, that's going to be on the east side of the fire. This fire continuing to push towards the east and the southeast. And I wanted to also talk about where this is in relation to the lake fire. You might remember back in August, we had a fire that burned out here closer to Lake Hughes. When I first heard that there was a fire out here today, I was optimistic that this fire would burn up right up against that burn scar, and that would act as a fire break, and the fire would essentially have nowhere to go. But unfortunately, the fire is burning in the opposite direction. So the fuel that it is coming into now is unburned fuel, again, heavy brush, and you see the super scoopers there making a water drop there at the top of the ridge. What firefighters are trying to do is to hold the fire at that ridge. Now that's the ridge for a road called Sierra Pelona Road, and that is right there. I don't know that it's a paved road necessarily, but Sierra Pelona Road, and you can kind of see some redness there. That's going to be the fire retardant that they dropped in an effort to hold the fire there at that ridge. So far, it's doing pretty well, but if you look over here, okay, pictures coming up. Thank you, Tim. Cool. I'm back with you guys here online. We're also live on NBC4, so if you'd like to watch our newscast, if you'd like to watch our coverage of this fire on there, please tune your TVs to NBC4, and then you can keep your computer or tablet or phone to our coverage here online and continue streaming from here. But what I was just saying a moment ago is they're trying to hold the fire there at that ridge for Sierra Pelona Road, and I believe that for the most part they have been successful, but if you look just a little south of here, those flames are getting very close to that road where they're trying to hold it. So we'll see if the flames jump or if they're successful in their efforts to contain the fire there. 3 minutes out. They're taking us in 3, Sarah. I like this side. Wait. The side that we're on right now, I have a really large flare up, so we can keep that. That's like directly behind us, 6 o'clock. 2 minutes. One minute. I can hear you faintly, so if I don't start talking, just cue me. Okay, I got it better now. And Michael, we've got intense fire activity just off of Sierra Piona Road. That's where you see all of those flames there. But just on the bottom of the screen, it's difficult to tell, but there is a line of fire retardant. What the fire department is trying to do is to hold the fire there at the top of that ridge. So far, they have been successful, but I'm not too sure about those flames we're seeing now. They are creeping into that fire retardant line, so hopefully they're going to be able to hold it there. But widening out the shot here so I can show you the big picture. This is what 200 acres of burned land looks like. And unfortunately, there are structures threatened. I'm going to push in here just past the smoke. That's going to be Bouquet Canyon Road, where you see all of the mature trees there. Under all those trees, there are some structures. We understand that there's anywhere from 10 to 12 structures that are immediately threatened by this fire. And the fire department is calling for evacuations for everyone who is 5 miles south of the Bouquet Reservoir, which is where this all started at 3 o'clock. That's the latest from Over the Fire in News Chopper 4 Alpha. Back to you in the studio. Thank you. And to everyone who continues to watch us online, we of course thank you for your viewership. We just did a hit there for the NBC4 News at 4 o'clock. Again, we are on TV if you'd like to tune in there, and of course we are streaming online as well. This is the most active section of the Martindale fire. You see a lot of flame there. This is going to be just off of Sierra Piona Road, a fire that has burned about 200 acres. And I just got a note here from our assignment desk, so I'm just going to read it, and you guys can listen in. More than 12 aircraft are battling the Martindale fire, including 5 air tankers, 2 super scoopers, and 3 helicopters. That does coincide with what my pilot Sarah Garabetian was hearing over the radios as well. He estimated about 10 aircraft, and now we know that it's very close to that at 12. Again, 5 air tankers. So those are going to be your fixed wing planes, 2 super scoopers. Those are the Quebecs, Quebec 1 and 2, and I'll show you them because I see them right over the reservoir. They're yellow, so that's what makes it easy to spot them. So there's Quebec 1 followed by Quebec 2. They're actually currently on loan to us from Canada, and they've been staging at Van Nuys Airport, which is why they were able to get here so quickly after the fire broke out at 3 o'clock. It was a fire that was 3 to 5 acres to start, but burning in heavy fuel and quickly grew to 200 acres in a matter of 30 minutes. Okay, 10-4. Thank you, Jack. That was Jack Noyes on our assignment desk letting us know that we are streaming with you guys. So we, of course, thank you for tuning in. We're now looking at the fire from the north side. So this is very close to the reservoir, the Bouquet Reservoir. There's actually an aircraft getting water there. I'd like to show you that if possible. Just have to be quick about it because it doesn't take them very long to get the water. That is what I believe is called the crane helicopter. And I'm sure Sarah will give me the exact name here in a moment, but they're basically getting their water from the reservoir. Fortunately, it is very close to the fire, just about 2 miles away from where it is actively burning. Again, a fire that broke out at 3 o'clock and quickly grew to 200 acres. But at this point, the cause is still unclear. It started very close to Bouquet Canyon Road, but closer to a smaller street called Martindale Ridge Route. And that is the name that the fire got, was the Martindale fire. Now, this is a fire that is burning close to the lake fire. You might remember that fire from back in August. So that was in mid-August. I believe the exact date is August 12th. We came out here for a fire that started burning just north of Castaic Lake, very close to Lake Hughes. And that fire also quickly ballooned and ended up burning about 31,000 acres. Now, when I first heard about this fire today, I thought that this fire would butt up against the lake fire, and then that burn scar would act as a natural fire break, and the fire would simply have nowhere to go. But unfortunately, the fire had other plans, burning towards the south and the southeast, which is actually the opposite side, the opposite direction from where the lake fire burned. So unfortunately, that means that the fuel that it is coming up to is unburned fuel that is very dry. And of course, with today's high heat, low humidity, and extreme fire danger, a fire like this was exactly what the fire department did not want, but it is unfortunately what they got when this fire broke out at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Sorrow, could you hear Jack when he was giving us what our plan is? No? Okay, let me tell you. Oh, no worries, Jack. I was just actually giving Sorrow what your plan is. That's cool. Cool, thank you. Will do. I just wanted to do something really quick here. I know we've been talking about those homes that are close by, but I wanted to see if maybe I could get one or two on camera to just kind of give a little bit better of a perspective of where some of these homes are. So you'll see right there in the center, there is a home. They're tough to see because of all of the brush, but I'll start there and I'll widen out the shot. I'll show you some of those nearest flames. Right around there where they're doing that water drop. I might be able to measure that distance. It's going to be tough because it's kind of sloped, but there's another home. Okay, so the flames to the nearest homes are about 1/3 of a mile. Okay, let me put this on screen so everyone can see this. So everyone watching online, you're gonna see a line now across your screen, and I actually just drew that. I wanted to measure the distance from the nearest homes to the flames, to the nearest flames that is, and it looks like we're looking at a little bit more than 1/3 of a mile. Now, again, there were about 10 to 12 homes that were immediately threatened. So I believe it's going to be the homes that we're measuring right now. So, again, about 1/3 of a mile away. Hopefully they can keep it that far or even further. So far, no structures have been lost or even damaged as a result of this fire. But, of course, they are still threatened. So that is, of course, a concern. There is structure protection in place. I saw some units on Bouquet Canyon Road. I'll see if I can find them for you again. There we go. There's some structure protection units right there on the main road that cuts through the mountains here. Again, it's going to be Bouquet Canyon Road. It'll lead you right to the Bouquet Reservoir, which is probably the best landmark that we have out here nearest to the fire, because this is a pretty remote area. It is the forest, but you do have that major road coming through, and you do have some homes scattered on that main road, and again, 10 to 12 structures immediately threatened as a result of this fire. Alrighty. I'm back with you guys online here. I just got another note from our assignment desk. Basically how it works is while we're up here over a scene, we have people back at the station who are making phone calls and are in contact with the fire department to try to get additional information about this fire. And one of the notes we just got is about the evacuation orders and warnings for the residents out here. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it for you. The first is going to be the evacuation order. So these people have to leave, and that's going to be from the Bouquet Reservoir down to mile marker 11.5 along Bouquet Canyon Road. Again, that's going to be Bouquet Reservoir down to mile marker 11.5. And there's an evacuation warning as well. Now that means that residents who fall under that area need to be ready to leave, but don't have to leave just yet. That means get your cars ready, get your children, your dogs, your family, just everyone ready to go should the sheriff's department come knocking on the door. And that is for mile marker 11.5 down to Texas Canyon Ranger Station. That's that ranger station right there off of Bouquet Canyon Road. You might remember we had a fire there a couple months back as well that burned a few acres. I can't remember right off the top of my head exactly how many acres it ended up burning, but I remember that Texas Canyon Ranger Station was threatened at the time. Again, that's the evacuation warning area, mile marker 11.5 to Texas Canyon Ranger Station. Copy that, Jack. Thank you. That was Jack Noyes on our assignment desk giving us updated information on the number of acres that have burned this afternoon just off of Bouquet Canyon Road south of the Bouquet Reservoir. He now tells me the fire has burned 300 acres. So I'm just going to look down at the clock here. A fire that broke out an hour and 45 minutes ago has already scorched 300 acres. It burned those first 200 in a matter of 30 minutes. That just goes to show you how dry the conditions are out here, how hot an area that really hasn't burned in a while. We did have the lake fire out here, but it's actually to our northwest. And this area that the fire is burning in now had been unburned brush, which is why we're seeing it go up so quickly. You see that one crane helicopter moving through the shot right now. There's a number of helicopters on scene. I'll give you the exact count. And we have 12 aircraft total, and 3 of them are helicopters. 2 of them are the Super Scoopers, which are those yellow planes that I was just shooting about 3 minutes ago. And then we also have 5 air tankers. So that's going to be the fixed-wing aircraft, your fire retardant dropping planes, and there's evacuation orders. Now, we knew right off the bat when this fire first broke out that it was threatening about 10 to 12 homes just off of Bouquet Canyon Road, I believe, and we were actually looking at some of those homes earlier. You're going to see some fire trucks. Those are structure protection units. Jack, if that was for Alpha, will you repeat? Oh, never mind. He's talking to our Bravo ship. So, pardon me there. We do have Gil Avison use Chopper 4 Bravo tonight as well, so it sounds like he's on his way to a call as well. But for now, we'll continue our coverage here over the fire. Pardon me, I need to adjust something. There we go. Okay, cool. Back with you guys here. Sorry about that. We had to take care of a little issue up here, but we are going to talk to you now about the evacuation orders. I wanted to talk first about the orders. So those are the mandatory evacuations. That's from Bouquet Reservoir down to mile marker 11.5. If you live in this area, you know that on Bouquet Canyon Road you have mile markers since there's not that many cross streets. And then there is an evacuation warning from that mile marker 11.5 down to Texas Canyon Ranger Station. So that's the ranger station right there off of Bouquet Canyon. When the fire first broke out, we knew right off the bat that 10 to 12 homes were immediately threatened. But of course, there was also a concern for all of the homes south of the reservoir, even as much as 5 miles down was what we first heard. And one of the first things we also heard was that the fire was only 3 to 5 acres in size, burning in heavy fuel, but within a matter of 30 minutes, it grew to 200 acres. The conditions out here have been difficult. It's been a hot day in Southern California. In fact, LA County is under a red flag warning for extreme fire danger due to the dropping order. Okay, copy that, Sarah, thank you. There we go. Sarah wanted to tip me off to this aircraft dropping fire retardant there along that ridge. That's going to be just off of Fall Canyon Truck Trail. So you see the line of fire retardant there. So basically what they're trying to do is to hold the fire at that ridge. And there's 2 streets that run through here. I'm going to throw on the map real quick so you guys can see it with me. There's 2 streets that run through here. They're trying to hold it there at that ridge. Here's another tanker coming through. We'll see if he drops. Sometimes they don't, but this guy is going to drop right here, right where they're trying to hold the fire, right off of Sierra Payona Road and Fall Canyon Truck Trail. You see those 2 roads there. That's where they're trying to hold the fire at the top of that ridge. And they're trying to secure it with a few extra fire retardant drops because what we noticed earlier was that the flames were starting to creep into some of those fire retardant lines right around this area. But so far so good. I don't see any even spot fires on the opposite side of that ridge. So they hope to have that be the most eastern edge of the fire. And so far it looks like it's holding. To the south, you You have more mountains. You have Bouquet Canyon Road. I don't see too many homes on the mountain itself. I do see some off down in Bouquet Canyon Road. That's where we have a lot of those mature trees. And then just to the north, that's where we have the reservoir. They're gonna drop there too. Cool, thank you, Sarah. Sarah has the fire at his side so he can see some of the planes that are coming in to drop, and he's able to give me the heads up so we can capture them on camera. So I'm going to throw the map up again for you guys. I want to show you the distance to the nearest homes because, of course, homes are always going to be a major concern for the fire department. And right now I'm still measuring the distance at about 1/3 of a mile, which hasn't changed. The last time I measured it, we were looking at maybe 0.38 of a mile. Now we're looking at 0.33. So it's still within that comfortable zone where it's far enough. But of course, the fire department doesn't want the flames to get any closer. They do have structure protection units down on Bouquet Canyon Road. And so should the flames get any closer, there will be some units right there ready to tackle the fire. And here's another line of fire retardant coming in right along that same road that we were talking about before. Again, that's going to be just off of Sierra Payona Road, which basically runs right along that ridge. So that's why they're trying to keep it there and keep the fire from jumping over that ridge and moving into the next mountain. At this point, though, it's holding really well, but 300 acres is what we're hearing. 300 acres that have burned here in the matter of less than 2 hours. Here are the Quebec 1 and 2 making water drops on the east end of the fire. And we were just looking at the big picture before they swooped in there. And it is looking so much better. What a difference. When they got those aerial assets out here, it really showed. It really is making quite the difference. You see the line of fire retardant there running down the middle of the screen. So anywhere where you see red, that's going to be a fire retardant line, and that's where they're trying to hold the fire. But just doing a quick survey here of the area, I'm not seeing too much in the way of active flame. And of course, we had those homes there off of Bouquet Canyon Road. The fire moved the other way, it moved east. Those homes were to the west. So far so good in terms of protecting those structures. And the goal in all of this was, of course, to protect those homes and to hold the fire at that ridge. And it looks like it is in fact holding at this time. It has yet to jump over that ridge. Really no spot fires as far as I can tell. It appears to be holding there at Sierra Payona Road, which was the objective here as another fixed wing aircraft moves in. It looks like he'll go around once, survey the area before he makes a drop. That's what we typically see them do, because they don't just want to drop immediately, because they want to make sure they maximize whether water or fire retardant, depending on what they have. So they'll oftentimes make a couple loops before they make their drop. But all in all, big difference. It really does look a lot better. Not seeing much in the way of flames, rather, but 300 acres is what we're hearing have burned here as a result of the Martindale fire. Sounds like And for all of you who continue to stream with us, we of course thank you for watching. I got notifications from people even as far as Illinois, where we have viewer Jeff watching us from there, who was, of course, watching what all of us saw here in the Santa Clarita area, just north of Santa Clarita to be exact, where we had this 300-acre brush fire break out this afternoon. A brush fire that broke out at 3 o'clock. It was only 3 to 5 acres at that point, but unfortunately, due to the mild Santa Ana winds that we have at this point with low humidity and the high heat, it led to 300 acres burning here just off of Bouquet Canyon Road, about 2 miles south of the reservoir, with a cross street of Martindale Ridge Route, which is how this fire got its name, the Martindale Fire. 10 to 12 structures were immediately threatened, and I can tell you that as far as we can tell, we were looking at some of those structures. We don't see any visible damage, so we don't believe that any homes were actually either damaged or lost. But of course, there's also some evacuations, evacuation orders, as well as warnings. Even though the fire is looking a lot better and we're not seeing any active flame, I believe that those evacuation warnings and orders will stay in place at least for the next few hours. So please stay tuned to the NBC4 News, as well as following us online, so you can get the latest updates, so you'll know when would be the most appropriate time to return home. We, of course, will have the NBC4 newscast just